Now, the FCC commissioner, Ajit, if I pronounced that right, says net neutrality is a solution that won't work to a problem that doesn't exist. Exactly. This is government coming in to basically end net neutrality and start ending free speech in a giant power grab. Just like we told you the Patriot Act would be used against non-terror-related cases, now it's basically used exclusively to get rid of the Bill of Rights and Constitution, because we could read how it was written. Well, now they just keep it secret. Another big telltale, but pieces of it are coming out. One of the commissioners is calling the FCC power grab of the internet lawless. That's what it is. Lawless. The debate isn't whether they say they're going to do a good job or not. You don't want the federal government involved in the internet when it's an out-of-control agency like the FCC historically. A draconian operation. And what they want to pass in their committee, not even Congress, but the FCC, that they say has passed, they're going to announce tomorrow, is 322 pages and is secret. Written by special interests, you can bet your right arm. And Commissioner Pai says net neutrality is a solution that won't work to a problem that doesn't exist. That's right. It's a power grab to then. Yeah, the current proposal that comes out will have some bad stuff in it, but it's just the fact that they're asserting that they have the jurisdiction when the same corporations need government as a cover to put this into law. They've tried to act unilaterally to end net neutrality. Comcast, Time Warner, and others, they've been unable. So now they want the government to do it in the name of saving it. Just like they staged the terror attacks or provocatorum or allow them to happen to then take over. I mean, it's real simple. Republican FCC commissioners asked Wheeler to delay net neutrality vote, release proposal. This just came out a few minutes ago. We respectfully request the FCC leadership immediately release the 332 pages. That's the skull and bones number. Isn't that funny? Internet regulation plan publicly and allow the American people a reasonable period of not less than 30 days to carefully study it. Remember, Obama had a promise that he would have 7 days to read the bills. Republican commissioners, Mr. Pai and O'Reilly, said in a statement Monday that after the commission reviews the specific input it receives from the American public and makes any modifications to the plan as appropriate, we could proceed to a final vote. See, that's even a red herring. You don't want the FCC over the internet. It was designed by DARPA and the Pentagon to survive a nuclear attack. It's designed to not be controlled and be organic. It's already basically run between three big groups. Google's the top of it, then the NSA. So they already pretty much run it. They just want to make this announcement to everybody. See, what did I tell you 6 months ago when I got attacked by all the big liberal publications when I said this is not net neutrality, this is a Trojan horse power grab, it's going to be written totally vague, because Hillary and Obama were endorsing it, folks. They don't endorse anything unless it's evil. And then they have the internet kill switch in place. They're trying to pass cybersecurity legislation that SOPA and cispa wrapped in together. They've got language in here that basically says anything offensive, anything threatening can be taken down by the FCC. This is the FCC is going to now be giving orders to major internet providers to just take websites down. We've had a whole bunch. Endgame was taken down, and I had to threaten to sue people, and they put it back up last week. They're trying to take the Alex Jones channel down right now for us talking and showing a BBC News article. So right now, we can barely reach you. We can barely stay on air right now. This isn't the FCC saying you can't say the S word or the F word on broadcast. This is the FCC saying we're going to protect the internet by making it a government utility and putting regulations over it. And they now have gotten part of the 322 pages that are secret that basically says it's censorship. And the Republican leadership's come out and said, let's pass the bill. We're joining with Obama. And it's libertarian groups, paleo-conservatives, and the left that are freaking out. Left group now fear government net grab going too far. We got to get Wayne Madsen on today. Let's call Wayne Madsen, or let's call, we didn't have any guests today, I didn't want any guests today, but I think a Wayne Madsen popping in on this, or one of our other web experts would be good. Dear FCC, rethink the vague general conduct rule. You see that? You got to watch your general conduct. As we move into this basically government and corporate propaganda, they're going to want to shut down free independent voices like InfoWars, Drudge, WorldNet Daily, and you. The answer is more of us have websites, more of us be involved on globalist platforms, that we just take over the system, they'll never be able to stop us. That's why it's important for all of you to be online activists, promoting whether it's sovereignty, family rights, medical rights to not be forcibly inoculated. You pick your issue or a raft of issues, get involved, and support independent, hardcore, pro-liberty-based media that transcends left and right. Notice it's a coalition of leftist, internet experts, paleo-conservatives, and libertarians fighting this, and it's the Republican pigs and the Democratic hogs, the establishment scum with a bunch of foreign corporations that want to carve up the web and shut down their competition because they cannot compete. We've had 10 senators, or 5 or 6 Congress members, I think 3 or 4 more senators, 10 members of Congress, we just wrote an article last year about it, so I know it's 10, come out and call for the return of the, quote, fairness doctrine, Orwellian name, to censor free speech on talk radio, and for a fairness doctrine online. So that's what they're doing here. That's what this is, guaranteed. Now, we had Obamacare, and it had the bioethics death panels. And people still couldn't believe that was in there when we had the actual text of it. And they just ridiculed us. The army of liberals that wanted it. Now there's an army of liberals that want this. You mean an army of trendy shills that think they're liberal and aren't? You've even got the FCC commissioner saying it's bad. The former head of the FCC saying it's bad. The former chairman, Powell. Now, folks, the FCC commissioner actually runs the FCC, and he's saying it's horrible. So he's like the police chief. But then you've got the mayor who says it's a great idea, but don't let anybody see it. You've got the head of the board that's political saying, don't let the public see this. And then you got the guy that actually runs the FCC saying, here it is, it's secret with red tape. I know what's in it. It's really bad, but I'm not allowed to tell you. This is what it is. There is not government regulation over the internet at this point itself. There are laws over criminal activity. This is a federal government power grab of the internet, as the Wall Street Journal called it, from internet to Obamanet. And it is the Obamanoids, the same big corporations that brought you Obamacare, the screw job of screw jobs, that are now backing all of this. So what's that tell you? And he says, and they will get to see it. The coalition of cable companies, a lot of them small mom and pops. That's why you're seeing some sense out of them. Some of the big ones are supporting it because they know they'll be left alone. They've got the lobbying power. So this is a giant grab of the internet. And you notice he said, after it's enacted, you can see it. Just like with these Pacific partnerships and North American Union agreements, the text of the North American Union Treaty signed by Vicente Fox, Paul Martin, and George Bush in 2005 in Waco, Texas at Baylor University, 100 miles from where I sit, is still secret. Boy, that sounds like a free country to me, doesn't it? But we see the result. Obama's following the secret treaty. Open borders. World government. It's incredible. Simply amazing. And these big trans-Pacific partnerships, we still can't see the text of that. Congress can't. I mean, this is over-the-top totalitarianism. Folks, whether it's the free health care of Obamacare that doubles and triples prices and is a giant screw job, or whether it's, free healthy energy, that means cutting off our energy, or whether it means protecting the internet, it means taking it over. It's an open-ended giant power grab, a blank check, period. We already had net neutrality. They're called, like Jesse Ventura said yesterday, antitrust laws. And Congress could tell the big telecoms, you're making money hand over fist. You charge for the bandwidth to provider to provider. You're not going to put toll roads up on this. The whole infrastructure is paid for. It's the only part of our economy that keeps growing. Keep your stinking hands off of it, or we're going to have antitrust hearings right now. And no one would do it. They've had peer-to-peer wars. many times in my 20 years on air, and every time within days, whoever tries it stops it because it just screws the whole internet up and lawsuits get fired up. So leave it alone. Leave it alone. That's what net neutrality means. Antitrust, ladies and gentlemen, free market, not the FCC waddling in. And you've got the former chairman, the former commissioner, and a bunch of Democrats and Republicans saying this is bad news.